For months, I had been saving up, quietly setting money aside from my modest paycheck and skipping out on luxuries so I could give my parents something unforgettable. It had been their dream for years to visit Santorini, ever since Mom first saw those pictures of white cliffside houses and deep blue domes glowing under the Mediterranean sun. They used to talk about it over dinner, sometimes with dreamy smiles, sometimes with that tone of resignation that told me they didn't believe they'd ever go. I wanted to make that dream come true. I handled every single detail myself: flights, accommodation, transfers, and even a carefully chosen list of experiences: a private cooking class, a candlelit cruise on the Aegean, and a quiet sunset dinner at a restaurant overlooking the sea. I booked the exact villa Mom saved once on Pinterest. I arranged it all in secret, even personalized their itinerary with a note that read, "Happy 30th anniversary. You've always given me your best." Now it's my turn to give something back. It was supposed to be a surprise, but the night before I planned to tell them, I got a text from Mom. "Hey honey, we talked it over and think it's better if we go alone this year. You've already done so much, and we don't want you spending too much money on us. You can cancel it. We're fine. Love you." I froze. I wasn't even planning to go with them. The trip was a gift. Why would they ask me to cancel it? I called. No answer. I texted again. This time, Dad responded with something even colder. "You've been too generous already. We'll just do something simpler. You don't have to worry anymore." And just like that, the surprise I had poured my heart into was dismissed. It felt like being pushed aside politely, but firmly. The next morning, I got a photo from my cousin Becky. She was at the airport. Becky, with my parents, posing in front of the departure gate. And when I zoomed in, I saw it, the exact flight number I had booked. They were going, just not with me in mind. And Becky had taken my place. Before we dive into the story, we'll love to thank you for your continued support to this channel. If you enjoy this story and stories like this, kindly subscribe and hit on the notification button so you don't miss any of our stories. We will love to hear from you. Tell us where you're watching from in the comments section. We'll love to give you a shout out in our next video. I didn't sleep that night. I couldn't. I kept replaying the scene in my head. My parents choosing someone else to enjoy the experience I created for them. Of all people, Becky. The same Becky who constantly borrowed money and never paid it back, who called my job cute and once told me to aim higher than being a glorified travel agent. I scrolled through her Instagram feed. There she was in my mother's dream spot, holding a wine glass like it was her birthright. Caption: "Family surprises are the best." I clenched my teeth so hard I thought I might crack something. That cruise, that table by the sea, that was my gift. That was my love. And they gave it to someone else. I couldn't let that slide. So I logged into the reservation dashboard. Every booking had my name on it. I hadn't transferred anything officially to them. I was still the primary guest on file. First, I contacted the villa and informed them of a change in the guest list. I said the guests were moved to a local housing experience as part of a cultural switch program. They downgraded them to a simpler room without all the luxury amenities. Next, I called the cruise company and canceled the reservation under my name. I told them it was a scheduling error. I even canceled the airport pickup for the return trip. Then I sent a formal message to the hotel. I requested that all outstanding balances be redirected to the current guests since I was no longer involved in the travel party. That evening, I got a call from my mom. "Sweetheart, there's some confusion here. The villa says our stay was changed and the dinner cruise was removed. Do you know what happened?" I kept my voice even. That's strange. Maybe because I was told to cancel everything. There was a pause. We didn't mean it like that. It was just. Becky had a break between semesters, and she had a break, I interrupted. So you thought she deserved the trip I built from scratch? Silence. We thought it'd be nice to bring someone. You always give so much. We didn't want you stressing yourself, she said, voice softening. I didn't reply. I just emailed her a PDF of the invoice, this time under Becky's name. Let them handle the rest. 3 days before their scheduled return, I heard the familiar creak of my apartment gate. I glanced through the window and froze. There they were. My parents. With Becky trailing behind them, sunglasses off, no smile on her lips, and a distinct lack of that glow she'd been showing off online just days earlier. My mom looked flustered, her hair tied in a loose bun like she hadn't bothered to freshen up. My dad's expression was blank, unreadable. They hadn't even warned me they were coming home early. And honestly, that silence spoke louder than any apology ever could. Becky didn't say a word when she got to the door. She handed me the spare keys I'd reluctantly given her months ago during a family emergency. Her hand brushed mine, but she didn't meet my gaze. No explanation. No thank you. Just a hurried thanks again before walking right past me and down the hallway. My parents hesitated. My mom stood by the door like she was unsure whether to hug me or beg to be let in. My dad finally muttered, "Can we talk?" I let them in, but I didn't move from where I stood. They sat down like strangers unsure of their welcome. The air was heavy. Not with anger, no. That had passed. This was something else. This was disappointment laced with resignation. My mom cleared her throat, her eyes scanning the room like she was avoiding mine on purpose. "We didn't expect things to go that way," she said softly. "The hotel downgraded us. The excursions were all canceled, and Becky, well, she wasn't exactly pleasant to travel with." She laughed nervously, like she expected me to laugh with her. I didn't. I just waited. "We made a mistake," she added, glancing at my father, who simply nodded without lifting his eyes. "We thought we were being considerate. We told ourselves you'd be proud that we went, that we enjoyed something you worked hard for, even if someone else came along." That sentence alone made my stomach twist. I took a deep breath. "So let me get this straight. You thought it was fine to let Becky go on a trip I paid for, a trip I spent weeks planning, while telling me to cancel it. You thought I'd be happy for you while you erased me from the gift I gave." My mom blinked, caught off guard by the directness. "It wasn't like that. It was exactly like that." I snapped, my voice calm but razor sharp. "You replaced me without hesitation. You didn't even tell me. You just let her walk into something sacred and made me the outsider in my own story." My dad finally spoke. "She pressured us. She said you wouldn't mind, that you told her about the plan already." That hit differently. I never told her anything. She must have seen something, maybe the itinerary when I left it on the table. But I never invited her. And you didn't even bother to confirm that with me. There was a long pause. You could hear the hum of the refrigerator. You could hear my disappointment breathing. Why do I always have to be the one who understands? I continued, my voice breaking. Why do I have to be the one who plans, sacrifices, and gets sidelined without even a conversation? What did Becky ever do for you that made her more worthy of my place on that trip? Neither of them answered. My mom's eyes glistened. My dad looked down at the floor, his hand wringing his wedding ring like it held the answers I deserved. "She told people on Instagram she paid for the trip," I said bitterly, holding up my phone. "She told them it was her surprise for you. She lied to everyone, And you let her. My mom finally whispered, "We didn't know she posted that." "I'm not surprised," I said. "You weren't paying attention to me. Why would you pay attention to her lies?" The words hung there, like the last shreds of trust we had. Then I stood. I'm not angry anymore. I'm tired. Tired of being the one who gives and never gets. Tired of being used and told it was a misunderstanding. So this is me saying I'm stepping back. Not forever, maybe, but long enough for you to feel what it's like when I'm actually not there. They didn't fight it. They didn't beg. Maybe part of them understood the weight of what they'd done. Maybe they'd already seen the difference between Becky's version of love and mine. As they got up to leave, my mom paused at the door. "We'll try to fix this," she said, her voice hoarse. "I don't want it fixed," I replied. "I want it remembered." They left in silence. And for the first time in years, I let that silence be enough. If this story moved you, if you've ever been replaced, overlooked, or made to feel invisible despite all your efforts, then let this be your reminder. You have every right to set boundaries. Every right to walk away from those who take you for granted. Subscribe for more powerful stories that speak the truth many are too afraid to say out loud, and let your voice be heard in the comments.